The night Ronaldo wore the robe of kings. On a warm Saudi evening when Al Nassr delivered a commanding 4-0 victory over Al Hazem, the scoreboard alone did not fully capture the atmosphere unfolding inside the stadium. The match itself showcased dominance, fluid attacking movement, and a collective confidence that reflected a squad growing increasingly cohesive under the weight of expectation. Cristiano Ronaldo, central to that performance, contributed with the authority and composure that have defined his career across continents. Yet what transformed the night into something culturally resonant occurred not during open play, but after the final whistle had already sealed the result. As celebrations began to ripple through the stands, a supporter tossed a traditional Saudi robe, often referred to colloquially as a long bow, onto the pitch. Rather than ignoring the gesture or allowing it to be removed by staff, Ronaldo paused, picked it up, and draped it over his shoulders with a calm, almost ceremonial grace. The stadium erupted not simply in applause, but in recognition of a symbolic moment that transcended sport. In that gesture, he bridged cultures, acknowledging the embrace he had received since arriving in the Saudi Pro League and reciprocating it publicly. The image of Ronaldo standing at the center of the pitch, clad in Al Nassr colors beneath the flowing traditional robe, felt theatrical, yet sincere. It was not costume for spectacle, but acceptance of belonging. For a player whose career has spanned Manchester, Madrid, Turin, and now Riyadh, adaptability has always been a defining trait. Yet this moment suggested something deeper than adaptation. It conveyed respect for the cultural identity surrounding him, signaling that his journey in Saudi Arabia was not transactional, but relational. The match itself had already illustrated Ronaldo's continued impact within Al Nassr's structure, as his movement between defensive lines created space for teammates and forced Al Hazem into reactive positioning. Even when not directly involved in scoring, his gravitational presence shaped the tempo, reminding observers that influence often operates beyond visible statistics. The 4-0 scoreline reflected collective efficiency, yet Ronaldo's composure during transitions anchored the performance with veteran assurance. However, it was the post-match celebration that crystallized the emotional narrative of the evening. As teammates gathered around him, some laughing and clapping at the unexpected attire, Ronaldo remained composed, raising his arms toward the crowd in acknowledgement rather than exaggeration. The robe, flowing in the stadium lights, symbolized mutual respect between athlete and supporters. For Saudi fans, seeing one of football's most recognized figures honor their tradition reinforced a sense of pride in the league's growing stature. For international viewers, the image underscored how global football continues to intersect with local identity. This was not the first time Ronaldo had embraced new environments with visible enthusiasm, yet the symbolism here carried additional resonance. His arrival in Saudi Arabia had been accompanied by intense scrutiny and debate regarding legacy and ambition. By wearing the robe publicly and comfortably, he communicated that his chapter with Al Nassr was not merely an epilogue, but a deliberate continuation of influence. The celebration became less about a single victory and more about integration within a broader cultural narrative. In the hours that followed, images of Ronaldo in the traditional robe circulated globally, accompanied by commentary ranging from admiration to analysis. Some viewed the gesture as savvy diplomacy, others as genuine cultural appreciation, yet the prevailing sentiment among supporters in Riyadh was unmistakably positive. Football in Saudi Arabia has experienced rapid transformation, and Ronaldo's presence accelerated its international visibility. Yet moments like this deepened emotional connection beyond commercial metrics. Within the locker room, teammates reportedly embraced the celebratory mood with humor and camaraderie,
recognizing that such images contribute to the evolving identity of the club. Ronaldo, who has often been portrayed as intensely focused and disciplined, displayed a lighter dimension of personality, allowing spontaneity to coexist with professionalism. The robe did not diminish his competitive edge, rather it illustrated comfort within a new context. Culturally, clothing carries symbolism of belonging and respect, and Ronaldo's willingness to wear traditional attire publicly resonated with supporters who value acknowledgement of heritage. In doing so, he reinforced a narrative of reciprocity, suggesting that integration into a league extends beyond contracts and goals. The 4-0 victory thus became associated not only with sporting dominance, but with cultural affirmation, embedding the match into memory as a celebration of convergence between global stardom and local pride. Years from now, when highlights of Ronaldo's time at Al Nassr are revisited, the goals and assists will remain central, yet the image of him standing beneath Riyadh's night sky in a flowing traditional robe will likely endure as one of the most distinctive symbols of that era. It encapsulated transformation without abandonment, illustrating how a global icon can adapt without losing identity. The robe did not replace the Al Nassr jersey, it complemented it, representing harmony between individual legacy and collective culture. For Ronaldo, whose career has consistently intersected with history-making transitions, this moment reflected maturity in understanding influence. Early chapters of his journey emphasized conquest and competition across Europe's elite leagues, while this stage emphasized expansion and connection. Wearing the robe signified acknowledgement that football's power lies in its universality, yet its meaning is always shaped locally. The Al Nassr 4-0 victory over Al Hazem thus became more than a routine league result. It evolved into a visual metaphor for football's globalization. As confetti settled and celebrations faded, one image remained etched in collective memory: Ronaldo smiling beneath traditional attire, bridging continents through a single gesture. In that quiet yet powerful act, he reaffirmed a truth that has followed him across stadiums worldwide. Greatness resonates most deeply when it respects the stage upon which it performs.